Definitely the first couple of times that I tried this, I was terrified.
There's this trade-off between privacy and the sense of security.
This is about me, and this is about what I believe, and this is about my hijab. And I'm really confident with modest wear nowadays because a lot of people using hijab, and also modest wear, I think, will be one of the kind of fashion that people will love. Wearing modest wear, that's it. I mean, like, we have no different. We all the same, just a human being. So between Muslim or non-Muslim, we are still human, that's it.
The first time I saw Vivi was in Indonesia, and it was amazing to see her here again. I saw her last season, this was her second time, and I just loved everything, and it's just amazing to have hijab on the runway, especially in New York Fashion Week. That's really cool to finally be seeing that.
Stand by.
Stand by.
Stand by.
I love the way that you can craft a story with TV news.
WHBF is local for you.
You get to write. You get to do it in the words of the people themselves.
Long joins us in the newsroom.
And you get to create the video that goes with it.
Hey, John, mic check, mic check.
It has like a lot of elements of storytelling that I really enjoy doing.
Jim Tiffany, Rock Island County Clerk Karen Kinney says a normal voter turnout for a primary election is about 22%.
Growing up, I always looked up to my mom. I mean, I still do, but like that's also a reason why I just felt like I was ready. I really wanted to wear it. And so, you know, around 6th grade, that's when I put it on. It seemed normal to me because I was just following in the footsteps of my mom. I think when you're younger, it's all about fitting in, and when you're in elementary, middle school, especially high school in America, you just want to be like everyone else. You don't want to celebrate diversity. I think I've made more of a conscious effort as I've grown older to connect more to my heritage. I have a lot of family members who don't wear a headscarf. My mom wears one, and a couple of my aunts also do.
We realize that she is the first, but if she had been the 30th or the 300th or the 3000th, it wouldn't have made a difference. We did it because she's Tahara, and she has earned this opportunity, and she's doing a great job for us.
And that's higher than usual because of some key races.
I will tell you that the majority of the phone calls that we have received have been, I wouldn't necessarily say they're from the Quad Cities, they've been from outside the area, talking about what a big moment for the Muslim community that this is. But yeah, there are supporters right here in town.
So the Muslim community here is about 1,000 people altogether. So, and you see those during the big Eid celebration. Mostly Indo-Pacs, India, Pakistan, a lot of Arabs. That's the majority of the people. It's empowering to our kids to see anybody with a veil anywhere, because our kids struggle going to high school. So imagine this young lady being in front of a public audience on TV. So the pressure on these children is high, because it's okay in high school to be popular and wearing clothes that shows everything on your body, but it's not okay for a young lady to wear a veil in high school. So I don't get it.
We're taught in Islam that it's a choice. It comes with, especially post 9/11 era, comes with a political statement. You know you're going into it with some backlash, at least a little bit. And I saw that actually growing up, being in the car with my mom and seeing people next to us stop and make rude gestures and things like that.
I read somewhere where people are criticizing her for what she's doing. And to me, I was like, in America? This happens in America? I mean, in this country, one of the few countries, you can be anything you want to be. So what's the big deal if a person is wearing a hijab, a veil, and is a reporter? I don't get it.
Actually, just the past couple of days, I've gotten 2 or 3 emails just about how my religion is the religion of the devil and I should reconsider.
As cheesy as it sounds, this truly is a family atmosphere, and everybody is looking out for Tahira. We look out for each other. Sure, there'll probably be more messages, there'll be more phone calls. If we keep the percentages as they are, 98% to 2, I'll take that. The only pressure we're under right now is the number of media friends that we have coming to visit, and it's allowing Tahira to share her journey with others, which we really want her to do. But at the same time, she has a deadline and she's expected to meet it.
I do think that this is a huge moment, but at the same time, day in and day out, nothing has changed. Just because you got to where you want to go doesn't mean you work any less.
This is Tahira calling from Local 4 News. How are you?
I think that if you work hard, people will see that. People will see that you are deserving of it because you have the talent or you are the right person for the job.
In the newsroom, Tahira Rahman, Local 4 News.
Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof.
Thanks be to God. Hallelujah.
This is my blood of the new covenant.
Say amen.
Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest for rights.
My biggest privacy concern is actually not the government. It's the big companies where there are really no limits on how they can share data, what they can use it for, how they can exploit it.
Yeah, my name is Ash Bhatt.
And my name is Rohan Fateh.
We're the co-founder of Robot Labs, and we're in Berkeley, California. It's really interesting to see how like the network actually reacts to these different current events. What essentially botcheck.me does is that we have like a search bar where you can essentially type in any username, and then we also have a dashboard that essentially we're tracking like 1,500 different bots that essentially like we take all their tweets from the last 24 hours, and then we calculate the top hashtags, the top tweeted accounts, the top 2-word frequencies, the top single-word frequencies. So we're looking at different statistics like that, and these are automatically generated. We've classified over 200,000 suspicious accounts. So this is an example of an account that seems like pretty suspicious in terms of bot-like activity. The account was created pretty recently. This is something that we see often with bots. Their following and followers number will be pretty similar. When you look at the proportion of like tweets to retweets, the account actually has a majority of retweets. So we have buttons like this that appear underneath accounts of, or every single account on Twitter once you install our extension. Essentially, you can click it, and as soon as you click it, it'll give you a classification, and we'll be able to give you a really quick and easy way of understanding whether an account depicts patterns of a bot or not. In this case, the propaganda bot-like patterns were found, and so we have this dialog that pops up. Yeah, so there's two big ways that we've seen bots actually being created. So one, it's actually like being created on Twitter. Someone signs up for an account and automates it. Automation is when an account starts tweeting by itself without a human actually publishing the tweets. It's him or herself. We've also seen a second method that's a lot more scary, where people are actually buying compromised accounts. So these are accounts that used to be owned by real humans and then sold on different black markets, things like that. You sort of see these bots evolve, and the scary thing for us is like, if we aren't like keeping up with like their technological progress, like at some point it's gonna be impossible to tell the difference, right?
Yeah, there's always new bots that are coming in. If you look at these new bots that are coming in, they're like joined in about a month ago, some of them are 2 months ago, some of them are a few weeks ago, and you can already see that they're retweeting constantly of these new topics on Twitter. And so there's always going to be more bots coming in onto this Twitter network as we're trying to explain and detect the old ones. So it's almost like equilibrium, and that's why we need to actually look at a way to prevent some of these bots from appearing on the network rather than just detecting them.
For the surveillance, you can catch the face in the public and find what you want to find. And for the commercial use, you can find the VIP when they come to a store. So you can make a special server for them.
We install a complete solution that allows our customers to be able to match people who are entering their facility against a database that already exists of bad people. And so if there is a match that occurs, we're able to send an alert to a mobile device like an iPhone or an Android phone in near real time.
We're always looking at technology, processes, even doctrine changes on how to better our security at an airport.
My biggest privacy concern is actually not the government. It's the big companies where there are really no limits on how they can share data, what they can use it for, how they can exploit it.
There's this trade-off between privacy and the sense of security. If you were to go to a concert or attend a public event, people have an expectation that that event and the facilities are being secured properly.
We're trying to get, obviously, increase our security effectiveness as well as our security efficiency, as well as also include the passenger experience. We want to make all those things better.
These companies can now collect information about you that is time-stamped, that is geo-stamped, that is temporally continuous. There is visual of you, who you're with. So you're not just, it's no longer just about your privacy. Whoever you're with, the photos you're taking of them, it's like, secondhand smoking, right? So everybody you take a selfie with, etc., you've compromised as an individual their privacy too in some sense, and we're not seeking consent from any of them. Take a case, you're at a theme park, your favorite theme park. Your child is lost in the crowd. Maybe if you have lots of cameras and you have a photo of your child, either on your phone or you have a photograph, maybe this makes it possible one day to scan through all the things and say, where is this person?
Where this is going is very exciting. So, we think about everyday items that we have that are going away. Our house keys, our car keys, our ATM cards, our passwords are all starting to go away, and instead we're going to be using facial recognition. Smartphones, of course, now are using facial recognition. Laptops have facial recognition on it.
So similar to bowling, you gotta hit the target and a variation of points, and you try to hit the bullseye every time.
Wood has been existing on Earth more than 1 million years, and human beings have been using wood for furniture constructions more than 10,000 years. And then the more we worked on this material, we realized, indeed, we haven't never fully exhausted the potential of this amazing material. The major component of wood is actually called the cellulose. And in this process we demonstrate that we can improve the toughness and the strength of the natural wood more than 10 times.
So we are actually in the process of making super strong wood. This is the first step called denictification. Basically to remove the nickel from natural wood by this chemical soaking process. So the nickel is like a binder. To be able to densify the wood completely, we have to remove some of these binders. So this is the hot press machine. So you have the two plates here. We put the wood sample after the first step in between of the two plates. You can apply the pressure here, and also we heat it up. So under the high temperature and also the high pressure, after about a day, we'll make the natural wood eventually into this final product, super wood. It's like a metal.
And that's the same wood, basically.
The same wood, yes.
So that piece, that same size piece, became the smaller piece.
Yes.
That's amazing. What uses do you see for this?
So this super wood can be used for replacing steel, replacing carbon fiber, replacing even cabinet, for lightweight vehicles, for building materials, for airplanes, for wind turbines. So it really can enable a lot of emerging technologies using this low-cost, earth-abundant material.
The process we demonstrated here, we showed is actually universally applicable for many species of wood. So it really doesn't matter what kind of wood you use, because we are getting out of the fundamental, intrinsic, amazing property of wood.
So similar to bowling, you gotta hit the target and a variation of points, and you try to hit the bullseye every time.
First, you let them experience failure a couple of times, and then you just kind of press their buttons a bit at a time. Sometimes you actually gotta agitate them, and then you're like, all right, that same agitation that you have, you're just rushing with that throw. Tell them, throw it like that board took your tax return. That was just a little high, just a little high. It was good, that was good.
Definitely the first couple of times that I tried this, I was terrified. Did not want to touch them, did not want to pick them up. The whole time I wanted to just kind of pause and breathe. You're flinging this thing forward. Part of it, on the first rotation, the blade goes by your face. So that, for me, took a little bit to get used to, for sure.
We are throwing blades around. These are sharp objects. We have these fences and everything set up over here in the aisles and everything. So unless you're throwing it with Olympic gold medalist type strength, maybe, it won't pop out that far. It definitely shouldn't.
That's been one of the most surprising things. things is how evenly the participants are matched male to female. A really nice split between men and women.
There you are. It feels like you're becoming one with yourself. Like, you really get in tune with yourself. So I feel like it even uplifts your posture once you start doing it for a while. Like, if you look at the people in our leagues, these people walk in here like they just conquered and defeated tigers.
It's crazy, but it's a good time. It feels safe the entire time.
I never thought my last day would be so emotional for me.
He's crying, they're crying, I'm crying watching them cry. And I've been very lucky because he's the best partner I ever had. Everybody would just come out just to talk to you.
People would say, oh, good morning, Angelo. Good morning, Eddie. You want a cup of coffee? You want lunch?
And the nuns kissing us, too. We got nuns on the route. You know, I never had that before.
The younger guys would ask me, how did you get that? It's just a little good morning. Have a nice weekend. Hey, you look great today. I could do 14 tons of garbage. I can't lift a baby carriage off a step and carry it down or hold someone's baby when they went to get their car.
The garbage ain't going nowhere. You know, the garbage will be there half hour from now, an hour. So when you get it, you get it.
He made a statement one day that he does all the work and I do all the talking.
It came out wrong.
Look how he's getting at us. It just came out wrong.
I deserve it.
When I first came on the job, there was one old time I remember, Gordy Flo, his name was. One day he stopped the truck. He tells me, Angelo, you look down this block first. See, all the sidewalks are all crowded up with garbage. So I didn't think nothing of it. My father always told me to respect my elders. I get to the end of the block, and he stops me again. Get out of the truck. Look back. Nice and clean, right? People go walk on the sidewalk. Guys can make deliveries. Be proud of yourself.
The day that people learned that you were going to retire, we went maybe a block or 2 blocks, and 6 people came up to him saying, you're crazy. What am I going to do when you leave?
I'm a little bit of a marshmallow anyway, but I never thought my last day would be so emotional for me.
He's crying, they're crying, I'm crying watching them cry. And I've been very lucky because he's the best partner I ever had. We used to try to take the same vacation and try to have the same day off. And I miss my partner.
I feel the same way, Eddie. I'll be honest with you. I miss it terribly. I'm like that little kid looking out the window now when I hear the truck. I think I could have done another 31 years.